Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Bladesong. We shall continue going today and see where we end off. Maybe we'll actually be inside the castle by the end of this episode. We shall find out, because don't know if... Wait, I think I can do this. Oh. Well. Why don't we just go ahead and do that then? Alright, so... Start with change the length of it. Alright. Then we change the thickness. Add a little bit of curvature to it. Okay. Make it two-handed. Now we add a cross section. Alright. Yeah, now we just need to wood, gold, silver. Oh yeah, I like the way that looks. Alright. This looks like a rather fine sword, if I do say so myself. Yeah, we'll go with that. At last, it's done. The blade will spell the difference between entry into Aaron Keep or swinging at the end of a rope. Chev has been watching you work the forge for the last hour, hovering at the periphery area of your encampment. Is this it? Are you done? My ticket to the outer gate, hopefully. Either that, or the grave. Good luck, Smith. She pulls you into a tight embrace. And remember what I said about my uncle, if you make it into the city. Alright. I guess we'll just go ahead and repair a blade. It's got a regular point, so I just need to up the sharpness on it. So, cross section. Oop. There we go. He examines the repaired weapon with amazement. It's like you brought it back from the dead. I owe you, Smith. Nice. Alright, well, we shall end the day. Alright, well. Time to see if Sergeant Glenn approves of the sword I made for her. The outer gate. The outer gate looms over the camp, both threat and beacon. Refugees gather, pleading for entry, while impassive guards look on. Approach the gate. The guard is slouching against the ramparts, gazing out over the horizon. His heavy-lidded eyes flicker your way only when you call for his attention.
Huh? What do you want?
The guard's sneer is especially pronounced this evening. I finished making the sergeant's sword. The guard looks you up and down from atop the wall. At last, with a roll of his eyes, he turns and bellows a command. The portcullis, I don't know. The gate rises. The great doors swing open.
I'm going to see you swing one day, worm. Hopefully today.
You walk into the gatehouse and wait for the sergeant's arrival, suffering the impatient glares of the guards. And the sergeant is otherwise occupied. By the time she arrives, the first rays of dawn are in the sky. Let's see it then. Hand her the sword. She takes the sword in hand, holding it up to the light. She twists the blade this way and that, her eyes glittering. Your heart stops beating until she finally pronounces, acceptable. By official decree of the crown, sanctioned under grace of the masked king, I declare you worthy of stepping into the role of Aaron Keep's new swordsmith. Her voice is flat and emotionless. One eyebrow arches as she awaits your reaction. I'm beyond grateful. Remember, your entry into Aaron Keep is a privilege, not a right. And it can be taken away as easy as a snap of my fingers. Your every waking moment should be spent considering how you can be useful to the city. There's an empty forge in the artisan's quarter that has not been maintained since the previous smith vanished. It is now your duty to fix it back up and start supplying swords to the city as soon as you can. Consider this a part of your rehabilitation into civilized society. Previous smith finished? Aye. You'd best think about that before you get up to any mischief. Oh boy. Without another word, the sergeant turns and marches away, leaving you standing in awkward silence beside the gate guardsman.
Here.
A piece of parchment bearing the masked king's crimson wax seal is thrust into your hands. It grants you the right to work within Aaron Keep until such a time as His Majesty deems otherwise. You have gained a permit allowing you to live and work in Aaron Keep.
Get out of here.
Can you give me directions to the forge?
Just shut up. Go. You're lucky you don't have a noose around your neck.
Emerging from the gatehouse, you find yourself in the last safe city in all of Talandi. A new day has dawned. Wisp of smoke from morning cook fires trace corkscrews in the sky. The dawn air is filled with the hum and bustle of a city waking up. Ask for directions. You approach the first friendly face you see. A tall youth with a broad frame and a tangled mop of straw-colored hair. He's hauling a wheelbarrow stacked high with leather hides. Hello, can I help you? I'm the new swordsmith in town. Oh, you're Thetson's replacement. I've got a delivery to make, but... He glances at his wheelbarrow of goods, then shrugs. A short detour won't hurt. I'll show you the way to the forge. Offer to push his wheelbarrow. Are you sure? It's quite heavy. Taking the handles, you quickly find the truth of his words. The barrow is heaped high with a tower of swaying leather hides, and your muscles, still weakened by starvation and illness, shudder under the strain of controlling it. Oh. Oh. After 100 yards, the barrow twists from your grip and tumbles into a gutter. Caswin hastily begins restacking the hides. For some reason, he's blushing as though he's embarrassed. So sorry. I'll push from now on. His muscles ripple as he lifts the heavily loaded barrow. Despite his meek demeanor, he's clearly got swings of steel. As you follow the man through the streets of Aaron Keep, you can't help but marvel. When was the last time you saw people look so happy and well fed? So many intact houses. So many proud spires. In a city of this size, how can you be in need of a blacksmith? Or, what did you mean when you said I was Thesson's replacement? Thesson Felber, the master swordsmith, went missing a few months ago. No one else in Aaron Keep can make high-quality blades. He went missing? What happened? You'd have to ask someone else. I sometimes delivered leathers to old Thesson, but I didn't speak with him much. He scared me, to tell the truth. I've never met a man who could scowl like that, like a walking thundercloud. Hopefully whatever happened to him doesn't happen to me. The youth laughs awkwardly. He focuses on steering his barrow across a section of uneven cobblestones. You know, my father was a smith too, back before the Sundering. Back when he was... He hesitates, searching for the right word. Around. My elder brother was the true apprentice, the one meant to inherit the forge, but I picked up a few things. kind of things did you pick up from your father? I know my swagging from my pruling, my hardy tools from my heading tools. I understand the theory, but it's all from quiet observation rather than practice. I'd love to properly learn my father's trade. Would feel like I was honoring him. There's likely a room at my forge for an assistant. Really? Aye, good assistants are hard to come by. The youth's excited expression fades. He glances down at his wheelbarrow. Unfortunately, I'm stuck working for the tannery. How come? It's a long story, but I'm deep in debt to the Houndsburg League. They're the merchant guild who run all trade in and out of the keep. They have me working at the tannery until my debt's cleared. You can't defy the league at Aaron Keep and live. Outside the keep, we call that slavery. It is. The air buzzes with laughter and friendly chatter. The market stalls bustle as coins and rumors are swapped. It's almost enough to make you forget the guards who stand at every corner, hands on the hilts of their swords. Here we are, the artisan's quarter. Your forge is just ahead. There it is, a sprawling building by the canal. Stone chimney stack jutting stubbornly against the sky. The door is hanging off its hinges. How long has this place been abandoned? It looks completely wrecked. The guards ransacked the place after the smith went missing. He sticks out his hand. My name's Caswin, by the way. Nice to meet you, Smith. There'll be space at my forge if you get free of the tannery, Caswin. Appreciate it. He walks away, the barrow's wheel weaving across the cobbles. A new location has been marked on your map, the tannery. Let's enter the new workshop. The door yawns open, spilling sunlight into a long neglected domain of dust and cobwebs. A rat skitters away into the shadows. Check the storage area. Luckily, there's a cache of supplies still here. Enough to keep you in business for a few days at least, but it won't last forever. I mean, it is going to be nice to have some of that, that's for sure. You'll need to find an ironmonger who can keep you supplied with good steel, a carpenter who can supply wood, and someone who sells decent quality leather. Draw up some posters. No one in Aaron Keep knows the forge is back in business. If you put up some posters around town, you'll get the word out. You take the time to scratch some crude advertising on scraps of parchment. Your name, your address, a motto. We don't just forge weapons, we forge perfection. That should do. You put quill to paper, and some have... That should do. You put quill to paper, and soon have some posters ready. Get started. Stale ale holds barely an afterthought of the scent and sound of iron, flame, and smoke. But all the tools are here. And the chimney holds its breath. The handful still is tuned, and your hammer strikes a prelude. and your flint taps the count off as you light the fire. Nice. Happy to see that. I mean, there is a scrap peddler out there. But anyways. Oh, I don't have enough to do you. What is up with... Why are they called crows? The woman who enters your forge is wearing mismatched armor, and her waist is adorned with battlefield trophies. Wasteland grime has worked its way in every crease in her face. I finally scrounged enough coin to buy some new steel. Lost my blade in someone's rib cage. Couldn't get it loose before his friends showed up. That's lovely. Oh, faction reputation. That's new. Sure, we'll do it. Alright, well. Let's get to work. Hammer this out. It's a little thin. There we go. Broad point. And then a cross section. You don't need this thing to be sharp or anything like that. You just need it to hurt. Alright then. So... How much curvature can I add to this? I mean, it's almost gone all the way around. Oh, it's over. Okay, yep, nope. We'll take that off. It's funny to know that you can do that, though. Anyways. You just wanted to be one-handed, so we'll just do that. Where's my lightest palm? This one? Yeah, I suppose that works. I suppose it needs a guard, though.
tests the blade's edge with her teeth, gnawing at the metal. It tastes nice and sharp. Should punch through leather and bone alike. Back to the ruins then. The dead won't rob themselves. She strides from your workshop with an explosion of wheezing laughter. Okay then. Oh. Okay. Interesting. Now, do I do another crows or no? We'll do this one instead. Oh, nice. We get some gold out of this one. An older figure enters your workshop, his weathered face bearing the weight of too many years. My days of wielding a blade are long behind me, but I find myself in need of a gift for my grandson. It's time he moved from wooden swords to the real thing. Sure. Why not? So. Doesn't need to be very big, does it? There we go. We'll go with that. And then guard. Grip. Pommel. There we go. And then leather. There we go. He accepts the blade with a slow nod, turning it over in his hands as if reading some deeper meaning in the steel. A fine blade, Smith. I hope my grandson shows the proper care for it. Nice. Alright, well, let's end the day. You know what? Let's come out to the camp real quick.
Outside the walls of Aaron Keep, desperate souls gather in makeshift tents, pleading for entry. Now that you've gained a residency in the city, visiting this place brings back an onslaught of painful memories. Find Sandrick Wander. Some hideous illness is rippling through camp. The moans of the dying mingle with the sobs of the bereaved. Fly-blown corpses lie beside overstuffed graves. As you walk towards Sandrick's tent, you spot Cholodo limping through the mud. He looks at you with doleful eyes, then hobbles away with his head downcast. Follow the dog. The dog leads you over churned mud, through ragged tents, past hordes of coughing, near skeletons whose eyes follow you with blazing jealousy. At last, Cholodo stops outside Sandrick's tent. He barks once, softly, and pads inside. Enter the tent. Sandrick Maunder, last son of the Maunder clan, is lying on his bedroll. The boy looks like nothing more than rags draped over bones. He's not breathing. Cholodo pads over and gently nudges his fallen master. Sandrick's body shifts slightly, then settles back in place. A few flies lift and start circling the tent. Comfort Cholodo. You stroke Cholodo's flea-ridden flank, tracing your fingers over his jutting ribs. The dog leans into you, breathing heavily. Examine the corpse. You don't know what got him first. Starvation or disease. Most likely a combination of the two. Sandrick Maunder is dead, far too young. Cholodo raises his head in a mournful howl. Bury the boy. You dig one more grave, beside the others. Sandrick is so light in your arms, he's hardly there at all. You lower him gently into the muddy hole you've dug. Cholodo stands at his graveside, oddly silent and solemn. Whisper the old useless words. You pray to the voices, asking them to look after the boy's soul as he joins their eternal chorus. Pointless. The voices no longer speak, and the songs are silent. Your shovel bites dirt. Spadefuls of earth shower the grave, covering Sandrick's pale face. Refilling the grave takes what energy you had left. You'll need to head home before you collapse where you stand. You are now exhausted. As you turn to leave, you see Cholodo still stood over his young master's grave. Encourage Cholodo to follow you home. You feed him a strip of dried meat and pet his flank. But Cholodo is fixed in place, eyes downcast. The sun sinks low in the sky. Finally, with a soft bark, the dog turns away and nuzzles your flank. He trots at your heels as you make your way back to the forge. For the first time since his master died, his tail starts to wag. Nice! We adopted a dog. You wake up with a groan, every movement sluggish. The night has left you with a bone-deep, abiding exhaustion. Today's work will be impacted. That's unfortunate. But, so be it. Oh, Cholodo. Cholodo's life in camp has left him covered in filth and fleas. His ribs jutting through his fur, spots of mange on his flanks. But he pants and wipes his tail with enthusiasm as you approach. Let's give him a bath. Choloto isn't familiar with the concept of baths. Once you've scrubbed him with soap and upended the first bucket over his head, he discovers that he doesn't like it. He runs off, yelping, apparently having decided you intend to drown him. You chase him around the workshop for an hour before the last of the suds have been rinsed off. Afterwards, though, Choloto looks like a new dog. His fur is glossy and shining, and the flea infestation has been mostly combed out. He glares at you resentfully for the rest of the day. Now let's feed him. You hold out a strip of dried meat, which Choloto wolfs down eagerly. After a life in the wasteland, he's not gonna waste time savoring his meals. Pet him. Choloto leans heavily into you, growling with deep doggy contentment as you stroke his flank. Get back to work. Choloto pads back to his basket and curls up for his snooze. You've never met a dog that could sleep for so long and so deeply. Nice. Alright, now then. Let's see here, what do we got in here? Okay, well, you know what? Let's do this one. The woman at your workshop's entrance is tall and lithe, clad in filth black leathers. Her black hair twisted around what looks like a human femur. Her cloak her cloak trails the ground behind her, its edges splattered crimson. Greetings to ye, Smith. I be Emrith, fourth sword of the bloody cloaks, and I seek a sword to cut down my foes, like grain of the harvest. We bloody cloaks are a merry lot. Ye can find our encampment in the Lost City if ye be inclined to take a brew with us. Why are you called the Bloody Cloaks? She swishes her cloak with a grin. Each recruit gets a white cloak, and it's their task to turn it crimson with battle blood. If the cloak is still white after your first taste of combat, you're given the boot. What do you fight for? The wastes are full of warlords, men who rule through strength and cunning, and they constantly war with each other over territory, loot, slaves. You can make a pretty living working for one side or the other, and everyone knows the Bloody Cloaks are the best in the business of butchery, so we get paid top coin. Why are y'all camped outside Iron Keep? She rolls her eyes. I ask Silas the same question every morning. There's no fights here, I tells him. No coin to be earned, but he follows the beat of his own drum. Does Silas? He insists there's some great violence brewing in the keep, and he wants to be here when it breaks out. Tell me more about the blade you want. Nothing fancy. Something that'll split skulls and pierce breastplates. Make sure it sparks fear in the heart. Alright, well, let's forge it, shall we? You want a blunt point. Okay. moving on to the hill. Very odd blade. Although, I can make it a little bit. Nope, not that thin. Okay. Sure, we'll go with that. Amherst takes the fresh forged blade with a glint of violence in her eye. Oh, I can wreak some terrible havoc with this. Thank ye, Smith. Much obliged. She scatters coins across your counter and marches out, her blood-stained cloak fluttering behind her. Okay then. Alright, well. Sell that. Or salvage that, and salvage the old drum. And I guess this is where we will end the day. The tannery. Let's see what we got. The smell hits you before the tannery comes into view, and it hits you hard. A nauseating blend of rotting flesh, stale piss, and caustic lime. Rounding the corner, you see the source of their stench. Workers stand waist deep in large wooden vats filled with manure and urine, stamping the mixture into hides. Others scrape fat and flesh from skins with curved knives, the wet slapping sound carrying across the yard. Seek out the owner. You find the owner seated behind an oak desk in an outbuilding, insulated from the worst of the stench. Sweat glistens on his fleshy jowls, and his fingers are adorned with silver rings. This is not a man with any personal experience of leatherworking. He looks up when you enter, his eyes flashing with irritation. What now? Another complaint about the smell? Greetings, I'm the new swordsmith and Aaron Keaton. The man's fleshy features shift into a calculated smile. Greetings, Smith. Name's Perdesh, and I'm in the leather trade. What can I do for you on this fine day? Do you have a man named Caswin in your employ? Caswin? Aye, he's a good worker, tireless, doesn't complain. He owes a substantial debt to the Houndsburg League. I'm helping him pay it off, one day at a time. Without my generosity, he'd have 2 broken legs and only a begging bowl to his name. He's mine. What does he matter to you? I was hoping to hire him at my forge. He snorts diversively. You're welcome to him. But the man owes us a considerable sum. You just need to wait about 10 years. He should have paid off his debt by then. How much would it cost to buy his freedom? He pores through his ledger, muttering calculations. With interest? $2,000. But I doubt you can stump up that kind of money. Come now. You're not dealing with me fairly. There must be some way to reduce the price. Ooh, success. He hesitates, evidently caught in a war between his pride and his greed. You're right, Smith. That price isn't fair, but Caswin is an unusual case. Because I respect your work, Swordsmith, I'll drop the price to $1,000, but I surely cannot go lower. That's still a ludicrous figure. He is one of my best workers, and I won't let him go until he's worked off every penny. Okay. Ever heard of a man named Lucas Borania? The tanner's eyebrows raise. Matter of fact, I do know the man. Everyone knows Lucas. He's been a great friend to my family. Why do you ask? Explain how you met Shivania outside the walls. A pitiful tale. But if she has Lucas on her side, her story might have a better ending than most applicants can hope. Present company accepted. Where can I find him? He's in the Capitol Square almost every night, sitting at his usual table outside the Fallen Doe. Good luck getting a word in edgeways, though. Okay. Can I buy some of it? We don't deal with individuals. We sell in bulk to established customers. He looks you up and down with a grunt. But if you help out at the tannery for a few hours, I can give you some offcuts to take home. Ugh. Bid goodbye to the owner, treated to a simpering smile as you leave his offering. I'm not in desperate need of leathers at the moment, so I shall hurry back to the forge. And let's see. What do we got? Ooh, let's see here. Let's come talk to you real quick. Ooh, you do have some books for sale. Do I buy a book? Yeah, we'll buy the book. And then buy some steel. There we go. Bid goodbye to the peddler. Alright. This is where I shall call it, though. I hope all of you enjoyed. This has been Bladesong. I hope all of you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see all of you again next time. Till then, toodaloo, everybody. Goodbye for now.